this is Linda Cohn from ESPN, and you're listening to the ML Sports Platter.
It's the ML Sports Platter, all a part of the Brawl Network. Hit us on Twitter at Network Brawl. Apparently, I have a co-host in my dog Cooper this morning. Unbelievable. Hit me on Twitter at Mike L Sports as well. Instagram, Mike L Sports 1979. All the major platforms for my hot 1-minute ML Sports takes. 9 minutes with Mike Lindsley, going live on YouTube and Facebook. A lot more here recently, and I'm going to be doing it a lot more in the future. So make sure you go hit me on YouTube, Mike Lindsley, and all over the major platforms like TikTok, IGTV, etc. We are presented by our great friends at Bryant and Stratton College. For every and in life, 2 and 4 year degrees right now at Bryant and Stratton College. And make sure if you're in and around Central New York, you get over to the James Street location, you get over to the Liverpool location. It's a great time to be a Bobcat, man. The athletics, the academics, the leadership. They just added a great nursing program. So get over to Bryant and Stratton College for every and in life. BryantStratton.edu. And a tip of the cap thank you as well to Rosie's Corner, Ken's Auto Detailing, Camilla's Golf Club, and our good friends at Barks and Rec Doggy Daycare. All right, let's talk Tiger Woods. It's been a really, really hard few days just for a lot of people, I think, in general. I mean, it's been hard, I'm sure, on his family. You know, clearly, really, really hard, obviously, on Tiger. I mean, those are some unbelievable injuries that he suffered. I'm going to get into that here in a little bit. I'll talk a little bit about his future as far as I know a lot of people just easily want to go towards, will he play again, will he play again, will he play again? And that's natural. I mean, I don't get mad at that stuff. I mean, there's people in the media right now who are like, oh, I can't believe anybody's even questioning that. When we've seen Ben Hogan come back from, near death, and we've seen Alex Smith come back, and, what modern medicine can do. It looks obviously really bleak right now. But I think it's natural for a sports fan to think that way, especially considering right now that Tiger Woods, and wouldn't it be really sad, I mean, honestly, wouldn't it be really sad if Tiger Woods didn't win another tournament? And was stuck on, quote-unquote, stuck on 82 PGA Tour wins, right? I mean, that would be horrible, because he's tied with Sam Snead right now all time. And, when I had said, hey, I don't think that Tiger's going to win another major when he had 14, voila, he won the Masters, and right before that won the Tour Championship, and, the comeback was certainly on, and I look at it, and I look at Tiger at 82, and I'm like, oh my gosh, wouldn't that be too bad if he just wasn't able to win one more, And so we'll get into that a little bit later. We'll get into the golf part a little bit later. I'm going to get into some other things that people may not have paid attention to over the years with Tiger Woods. And this is just me on Tiger. The whole podcast is going to be some Tiger Woods talk. I want to talk about the injury sustained in the crash. I want to talk about, global impact and get kind of back into that stuff, and talk about, the young players and all the rest. But first things first here, these injuries were just, first of all, he's lucky to be alive. He's lucky to be alive. Apparently, officers have come to the conclusion that there was no impairment whatsoever. As I record this, I'm kind of dancing around articles that I've read and things that have been updated and all the rest. His road to recovery is really, really a long one. Jeremy Faust, an emergency physician in Boston, was quoted and said, he's still in that acute phase where they still may have a lot to work to do in the present, in moments, in days to come, which is, it's so true. I mean, he sustained injuries to his leg, required a rod, screws, and pin. You had surgical releases of muscle covering. There was one that was reported that surgeons likely believe would save his leg from amputation. I mean, that's how bad this thing got. He's lucky to be alive. and authorities have deemed it as purely an accident. They're going to have to pull, the black box event recorder, which we know from the vehicle, officially to make all of the determinations. Woods has no memory of the crash. Just again, I'm going through some kind of bullet point details here. The immediate thought by a lot of people, I'm not going to lie, I had a quick jarring thought about, I had two quick jarring thoughts when this happened, and people are, because when anything huge it happens in sports, whether it's on the field or off the field, on the ice, off the ice, on the court, off the court, my phone goes nuts. I get Facebook messages, tweet messages, text, and sometimes I think people just either text me because they think I haven't seen it, which could be the case. My dear buddy Mike sent me a Facebook message at kind of the exact time as some things were happening. I hadn't gotten into opening different apps and whatnot, and I'm usually on Twitter all the time. And so it's easy for me to just quickly see a retweet, right? Or quickly see a post or a hashtag or something that's trending. And, it's to let me know you haven't seen it maybe, or it's just to talk like the dudes do about sports, or it's, people just send it because they want to send it, and most of the time I have seen stuff just because I'm on it all the time. It's my industry. It's like me, Googling, something about modern medicine that's been out for like a week, and then texting a buddy who's a doctor and going, "Hey man, did you hear about this?" And they're like, how's the rest of your day going? The two quick thoughts I had, oh my goodness, is this Kobe Bryant again? Because in our society, we read quick, like Tiger Woods in car crash. Well, until I see a headline that scrolls right across and says, Tiger Woods severely, or give me something with his condition, right? In serious condition with major injuries after crash. Doesn't say Tiger Woods dead. Doesn't say Tiger Woods on life support. Doesn't say any of that stuff. But, you got to read the exact condition to take a little bit of a breath and go, oh my God. Because I thought for a second, you've got to be kidding me. This is Kobe and Tiger in back-to-back years? I mean, really? No way. Right? No way. No way. I mean, that would have been like, in the early 70s when Roberto Clemente happened, Clemente and then, Willie Mays the year after. Or in 79, Thurman Munson and then a year after Mickey Mantle. Or, something like that. But in this particular case, Kobe just recently retiring, 5 years ago, into his induction year of the Hall of Fame. He's gone. And then Tiger Woods, basically on the precipice of becoming the all-time winningest player in golf history. The Masters is coming up in April. I mean, he's still kind of closing a little bit of, the things going on his resume, his legacy, his global impact. He's starting to design golf courses, etc. And I'm going, you've got to be kidding me. The other quick jarring thought that I had, with this, first it was the quick, the Tiger thing, the Kobe Tiger, but also his kids. I mean, I'm a newly minted dad. I'm 14 months into this thing, and you immediately think to the kids, to the youngsters, and, he's gone through a ton personally. I'm not someone who is a fan of criticism of Tiger Woods for making mistakes. I'm just not. There are so many losers on social media and so many trolls in the world who think that if they had Tiger Woods' fame and unlimited women and bundles of money, hundreds of millions of dollars, to the point where, you're a 1.2 or $3 billion man, right? Unlimited endorsements through the years, through the chaos that happened and endured with Elin Nordegren and all the rest, and then his dad dying, and that spiraled him out of control, and the marriage and the car into the fire hydrant, and the golf club, and all the women and the strippers, and the into repairing his life and losing sponsorships and getting them back, and Nike and American Express and all the money he's made, and now Bridgestone, and you know, I don't think anybody with all that fame, fortune, pressure, zero childhood, you know, unlimited women, a yacht called privacy. I mean, who names their boat privacy? Tiger Woods. Because dude ain't getting any. You're not getting privacy. You can go to the grocery store. He can't. You know, you can go for a walk with your dog. You can't. Or you can, he can't, excuse me. You can, you know, oh, you know what? I feel like a burger tonight. I'm going to go order takeout. Tiger Woods can't order takeout, man. He can't. And, like, it's easy to criticize him because it's like, oh, you know, it's an easy thing to do, right? Like some troll who lives in, you know, Mattydale, New York, some loser on social media with no profile picture who's hiding behind the curtain in a no-name suburb in Florida can criticize Tiger Woods, and I got news for you. You might make the same mistakes if you had all the stuff that Tiger Woods has had in his life. All that fame and fortune and women and the boats and the money and endorsement that has gone along with it. Being a global impact, the pressure, no privacy, no childhood. Under the warped pressure of his parents, mostly his dad. Give me a break. You know, you get to troll somebody because you make $40,000 a year and nobody knows who the hell your name is. Because social media allows you to do it. You know? I don't condone a lot of his behavior, but I don't blame him. Because if I had all of those things that he had, I'd probably make a bundle of mistakes too. I think most people would. So I'm not going to go down criticism road on this podcast. What I'm going to tell you is that he bounced back. I think that's what's most important. When people are down, what do? Tiger bounced back. He went to rehab. He wore the Buddhist bracelets. He connected with his family. He reconnected with his kids. He apologized to Kingdom Come. And then it was sad that we saw him driving, you know, under the influence of you know, all the pain medications and all the rest, right? I mean, he got pulled in, impaired driving and all that. That was a sad sight. He could have died that night too. Could have injured others. Luckily, everything turned out okay. But that was a bad night as well. But he recovered from that. You know, but the poor guy was dying inside with pain. And I can tell you right now, we've all endured some kind of pain that we are dying for it to go away. I had ACL surgery. I thought it would never go away. I had costochondritis a million times, or what felt like a million times, you know, over the course of a couple summers. And I was on medicine. And I remember a couple of times, like, I didn't pay attention to when I took the last one. I was like, oh, I think I took it at, you know, 11 a.m. or whatever. But there were a couple times where I think I took like a couple in the afternoon and then took a couple like 4 or 5 hours after. And was like, whatever, it'll just put some pain away. And I was like, oh, that's probably a bad move. And, you know, the next thing you know, I was not feeling great. You know, there's a point in time where, you know, you have maybe like I sprained an ankle 2.5 weeks ago, and it's still on both sides. I'm like, I'm so over this ankle, just an ankle. And I'm not taking like tons of, you know, pain meds for it or anything, but, you know, I'm icing it twice a day, constantly, still, because, you know, at the bottom of the ankle, you know, you got to wait for all the support and get strong. We've all been in a spot where we're dying for pain to go away. Tiger was dying for pain to go away. When he got pulled over, he was hyped up on all the pain meds. He wanted it to go away, to get back to golf and play and compete. And so that happened. But he's made comebacks before. He's battled. His body's gone through a shit ton. And he bounced back, man. Like, he bounced back from the divorce and the ugliness and Elin Nordegren and the golf club and the fire hydrant and the car and the pain meds on the side of the road. And that was one other thing that jumped out to me with this was, oh no, you know, I didn't want to jump to conclusions, but with the history, you know, that he has, you thought to yourself, oh no, he just had his 5th back surgery in December. Did he get hopped up on pain meds, you know, the night before to try and just fall asleep and get drowsy because he was fighting pain, and he woke up and just kind of said, screw it, I feel fine, I'm just going to drive and it'll all go away, I've done this before. I mean, you know, that could get into your mind. Wasn't blaming him for that, but just, it, you know, you thought about it and you worried about that. that was a thought. And he had done an interview with Jim Nantz. He was at the Genesis. It was his tournament. He was at Riviera, not playing, but he was talking about the Masters and course design and some of the youngsters playing and all of it. And it was, I saw a quick little screen grab on PTI, but I didn't listen to the interview. And then my man Rob, who's been a loyal listener of this podcast and my radio shows in the past, shout out to him. He was like, he looked really bad and, kind of even looked high with Nance on CBS. And I was like, man, I should watch this. And I watched it, and man, he did look out of it. Most of the interview, he was typical Tiger. He was calm Tiger. But if you look at his face closely, looks like he's a little exhausted below the eyes. He looks a little bit like he's kind of in the shadows. Every answer he gives at the end, he's kind of like slow and moving his mouth. His lips are kind of a little bit. And I'm not trying to break this down every way to, Sunday with how we are in social digital media. I'm just telling you what I really, truly see. I'm not trying to make up anything. And then when Nance said, we'll get back to you in a minute here, Tiger, and they did some highlights, he was like, Tiger, and then Tiger was looking off to the side, and I don't know if he was looking at, like, a screen of the golf or looking somewhere else, and Nance was like, so Tiger, and then Tiger almost looked like he had his eyes closed, turning to the side, and then he looked to the camera, was like, yeah, almost like, oh yeah, sorry, man, I was taking like a 5-minute nap, and I was like, wow, he really does look out of it. So maybe down the line, black box, extra investigation, etc., perhaps something will come out that he was on painkillers for his back. I'm not sure. I'm just glad the guy's okay. I mean, and we'll see what happens in the very near future. Coming up here in just a minute or two, I'm going to get into more of the impact, his current status in the game. Will he play again? Those sorts of things here on the ML Sports Platter, all a part of the Brawl Network, thanks to Empower Federal Credit Union and Welch & Company Jewelers. ML Sports Platter back with you all over the major platforms like Spotify, Google, Apple, Stitcher, Deezer, and anywhere else. Download, subscribe, leave feedback, and a 5-star review. So with Tiger, the immediate thought is he going to play again, right? And look, this guy with the screws, the rods, the near amputation, all the different things going on, it's easy to say what I said when he had 14 majors. No way, no how he's going to win another major. No way, no how he can come back from this. Ben Hogan came back. Tiger's a fighter. One thing that he's doing in that hospital bed is his mind is thinking and it's racing, right? He is coherent. He has conversations with doctors, etc. On his mind is, there are people who think I can't play again. F him, right? Tiger Woods is going to have that thought. Like, yeah, I'm already reading it. I'm already going through Twitter. I'm already reading online. Tiger Woods, his career's done, finished. No way he's coming back from it. I will tell you, I don't think Tiger Woods is going to play on the Champions Tour. I just think it's going to be a waste of time in 5-6 years. What does he need to do on the Champions Tour? No disrespect, to the potpourri of amazing golfers there who have won majors, who have not won majors, who just still want to compete, who have been, great on the Champions Tour. There's a lot of tremendous players, and it's a great tour. And I have a friend, Joey Sindelar, who plays on it, and it's fantastic. But Tiger Woods has nothing to accomplish on the Champions Tour. What is he going to do when he's, play 2-3 years and say, hey, I'm a 4-time Champions Tour winner? I mean, is anybody really going to care about that? Right? Is Tiger Woods really going to care about that? Probably not. What Tiger Woods really cares about is proving people wrong and being at the top of lists. He still has another thing to accomplish. He won't break Jack Nicklaus's record. He's 45 years old. He has way too many back injuries. He has too many health problems, etc. Now the accident, for God's sakes, this is going to put him back at least a year of rehab. I mean, at least. I don't, whether Tiger comes back or not, if he comes back, I don't see him coming back until, the age of 46 or 47. And then even from that point on, can he even, move his body like he did. I mean, when he was coming back from, getting pulled over with the meds and all the rest, I think that Tiger, Tiger's swing still looked pretty good. I mean, he was, he's working with the proper, swing coach and mechanics and all the rest. And he, we know from winning the Tour Championship and the Masters, your swing's got to be pretty dead on, to win those tournaments. And he's tinkered with it so many times. I mean, he's redone his swing, in his prime multiple times. We know what he did with Hank Haney. I mean, it's remarkable, Woods, even if he comes back, I mean, 46, 47 years of age, I think he's going to try to make it back. I do, because it's in his DNA. It's in the comeback thing is in him now. And I think he wants that one more win. I don't think he cares which tour win it is. I don't think he gives a shit if it's the Masters or the John Deere Classic. I don't think he cares if it's, I don't think he cares at all. And maybe this will be the final Tiger Woods swan song, right? I mean, here we were thinking that this was going to be the Tour Championship and the Masters. He wins that. He goes out, wins a few more tournaments, maybe finishes a couple of top fives in the end. He already played in that great tournament with his son, who's got an unbelievable, he's got the mimic swing of Tiger. He's got the look. He's got the red shirt. Charlie. I mean, this kid, holy cow. I mean, you talk about a Tiger Jr. He's entertaining. He smiles. He's fun. He looks like Tiger. He's got the red shirt. He makes the putts. He does the fist. I mean, he's got a spectacular swing. He's long and lean. I mean, it's great. And it's then, okay, let's focus into the kids full time, design golf courses, and off I go. I'm already global brand. I'm already an impact guy. I'm already transcendent. I'm already a Mount Rushmore guy, probably in the history of sports. But I think he will make a comeback. Do I think he can come back? I don't know. I really have to answer, I don't know. I really don't want to say no, because he's Tiger Woods. The dude's kind of Superman. I mean, my God, he should be dead right now. I'm not trying to be mean about it. He got really lucky in this crash. He got really lucky in the painkiller drive. Really did. He got really, really lucky when he went off the rails and cheated on his wife a million times with all these women. I mean, anything could have happened in those strip clubs. Anything could happen in Vegas. He was in the public eye a lot. I mean, all it would have taken was a couple of guys to just grab him and jump him, knowing what he was doing. He's gotten, I mean, if he were, the cat here, they get, 9 lives? I mean, Tiger's a tiger, so I guess he is a tiger cat, right? Ha-ha. Tiger's had about 99 lives, okay? I mean, so him coming back, would it surprise me? Probably not. This guy just goes in the booth, puts on the Superman cape, and I know it's not that simple, but goodness, sometimes it feels that way. And, it wouldn't shock me. It really wouldn't. Now, if he doesn't come back, I hope he leads a normal life. I really do. Tiger Woods, I really would love him to be the winningest player of all time. I really would. He's tied with Snead with 82. It was a walk in the park that he was going to crush Nicklaus's record. I mean, it was a walk. It was a slam dunk guarantee that he was going to do that. No questions asked, right? No doubt about it. And he's not going to do it now, period. I mean, there's just no way he's going to do it. No way. 4 more majors? No way. Not, and especially in this condition and what it took for him to come back and win the Masters in 2019. Come on. But man, I'd love to see him get that win so we can at least say, even without the most majors of all time, because I think he's the greatest of all time, period. I think impact, the global situation, you look at his social impact, the game of golf, in the early 90s, guys were making, pennies compared to what they're making now. 10 years later, after the global impact, the Masters win multiple majors. I mean, guys started to make, we had 30, 35, 40 guys on tour making, millions of dollars after wins. That was all Tiger. He added the purses. He got, Nike on board, which then created more sponsorships. It got Adidas to buck up. It got tailor-made Adidas and the partnership and other companies to kind of get to the sport of golf. Golf became cool. You worked out now as a golfer instead of just being kind of out of shape but able to hit the ball a long way and win majors. You could be John Daly. Not anymore. Tiger comes along, changes the tour from a workout standpoint, a work ethic standpoint, global appeal, impact, transcendent. He's a black player. The purses, the endorsements, the ratings. nobody moved the game, nobody moved the needle like Tiger. With all due respect to Jack and Arnie and Ben Hogan and Bobby Jones and Sarazen and Hagen and Seve, especially on the European circuit, no disrespect to the Nick Faldos and the Phil Mickelsons, no one did it like Tiger. And so, therefore, in this particular spot, I don't think he has to win the most majors to be the greatest of all time. I just don't. And in a lot of ways, I think women's tennis, men's golf, women's golf, I used to think that. I used to buy into the most Grand Slams or majors. And now I'm not. As I've grown older, I've gone more towards the impact and total wins and other things that aren't talked about, which here you go. Here's a couple right here. The dude went 142 tournaments at one point without missing a cut. I mean, do you know how outrageously difficult that is to do? That's just, it's mind-boggling. I mean, Dustin Johnson has missed a couple of cuts just this week. This year, Tiger didn't miss one for 142 weeks. I mean, come on. He also was number one in the world for 683 weeks, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, what? And also, you know what we don't talk about? Like, we talk about the impact of the Mount Rushmore stuff and the global brand. How about the list of wins in the European circuit? Tiger's played worldwide, right? In addition to at home. Anybody know that Tiger Woods is third all time in European victories? That's amazing. Now, somebody, you might not care much about that, but there have been a plethora of players from America who have competed on the European docket. It's not as common as a ton of Europeans and a ton of international players in general, right? It's not as common for Americans to play a ton of tournaments over seas like that, as it is for all of them to play here, because let's be honest, the PGA Tour is the tour. It is the global tour to play in all the majors, the Players' Championship, the Tour, the World Golf, all the FedEx Cup events that are going, all that stuff that's all global. But not all Americans go and play a plethora of European events. The next best win total for an American on the list? Okay, Tiger Woods is third with 41 European victories behind Langer and Ballesteros. Langer has 42, Ballesteros has 50. The next American on the list is Phil Mickelson, who is tied with three others at 32nd. He has 10 wins on the European circuit. Tiger Woods has 41 wins on the European circuit. So those are some numbers that are absolutely absurd to look at. 142 straight cuts made at one point in his career. 683 straight weeks at number one. 41 European Tour wins. And he has the most wins all time. Unfortunately, he's tied with Sam Snead if he gets back, hoping that he wins one more tournament and, has almost like an Alex Smith type comeback. But the bottom line is, golf's a long way away. I'm just right now pleased and happy that Tiger Woods is alive and okay. The ML Sports Platter is all over the major platforms, brought to you by our good friends at Liverpool Physical Therapy, Ken's Auto Detailing, and Brian Comboy of Mass Mutual, New York State. A big tip of the cap thank you as well to Rosie's Corner. If you're listening to this and you're in and around central New York, make sure you get over to Rosie's. Pizza, pasta, hot and cold subs, and more. Their stuffed shells are delicious, and Fish Friday is tomorrow, so make sure that you get on over to Rosie's Corner. Their themed food days are great. Chicken and biscuit Wednesdays, turkey slop Tuesdays, you name it. The mac and cheese is to die for as well, and you can get them on Grubhub. Facebook and Instagram, go ahead and like and follow Rosie's Corner, a proud ML Sports Platter sponsor. And hey, a quick shout out to the Swan and Whitaker families listening and supporting the Platter as well. Hit me on Twitter at Mike L Sports. As I always tell you, enjoy the games.